Adobe Illustrator CS3 allows you to save any combination of attributes, in other words fills, strokes, and special effects, as something called a graphic style. Graphic styles can be applied to multiple elements within an Illustrator document and also exported to other Illustrator documents to prevent you from having to add multiple fills and strokes over and over and over within the same or different documents. So in this lesson, what we're going to explore is how to create a graphic style by first creating an object and then applying appearance attributes to it. I'm going to start out simple by going to the Illustrator toolbox and clicking on my basic shape tools. In the basic shape tools, if I click and hold on the shape tools, I can see my choices of rectangle, rounded rectangle, and so forth. In this case, what I'm going to choose is the ellipse tool. And I want to draw a circle right near the middle of my document. What I'm going to do is position the cursor in the middle of the page. I'm going to hold down the Shift key to create a perfect circle from that ellipse. And I'm going to hold down the Alt or Option key to draw that circle from the center. I'm not all that worried about size right now. I can go in and adjust that in just a second. Make sure that you let up on the mouse button before you let up on the keys to maintain the position and the size of that circle. Now, to change the size of the circle, I can simply go up to the control panel and click on the choice over on the right hand side, the word transform. It's highlighted in blue, which means when I click on that transform, it will open a version of the transform panel. I want to make sure that my width and height are locked together, they're constrained, and I can do that by clicking on the little chain button to the right of the width and height fields. In this case, I just want to size this circle so that it's 3 inches by 3 inches. I'm simply going to select the text or the number inside the width field, hit 3 on my keyboard, and then hit Tab, and it will make sure that that circle is sized to 3 by 3. The next thing that I'm going to do is size the stroke on the circle. To get it to stand out more, I'm going to go into the control panel over to the stroke field, click on the pull-down menu next to it, and choose to make this an 8-point stroke. I'm also going to give that stroke a certain color. In this case, instead of the basic black, what I'm going to do is go in and give it a blue color. Now what I want to do is go and look at the appearance panel, which is going to show me all the attributes that I've just applied to this object. I'll go over to the dock and click on the icon for the appearance. Looks like a little bullseye. As I click on the appearance panel, I can drag it out on my screen to make it more accessible, and you can see that the appearance panel is automatically grouped with the graphic styles panel. We'll be using both of these together, so you can drag them both out onto your screen if you prefer. In the appearance panel, I can see that my current object has a fill of white and an 8-point stroke that's blue. Now, one of the benefits of using the appearance panel is that I can apply multiple fills and multiple strokes to any object. For example, I can click on the current stroke. In the appearance panel, I'm going to click on the word stroke, and it highlights the 8-point blue stroke that I have right now. I'm going to add another stroke to this shape by simply going down to the New button at the bottom of the appearance panel, the universal Adobe symbol for New, and click on that button to add another stroke. Now, I can't see it because it's placed over the top of the existing stroke and is exactly the same size and color. But I'm actually going to add one more stroke by using a different technique. I can go and take that uppermost stroke and drag it over the top of the New button at the bottom of the appearance panel to create yet another stroke. Now what I'm going to do is make it so that I can see these strokes stacked on top of each other. So the uppermost stroke I'm going to select, and I'm just going to give it a different color. In this case, I'll choose an orange color. Now you can see the orange color is obliterating the strokes underneath it. But this stroke I'm also going to make smaller. So I'm going to go in and select the stroke pull-down menu and choose 4 points. And now you can see the orange stroke laid over the top of the blue stroke. The lowermost blue stroke I'm going to select, and I'm going to make a different color as well. This one I'm going to make yellow. I'm going to do that through the control panel. And also in the control panel, I'm going to increase the stroke weight. So I'm going to increase that to 10 points. If I zoom in on this circle, and I'm not going to do that by just simply clicking with the zoom tool, I'm actually going to grab the zoom tool and drag a marquee around this circle or a box. This will allow me to fill the screen with that circle, and you can see these strokes stacked on top of each other. I'm going to move the appearance panel out of the way and the graphic styles, and you'll be able to see the full effect here. I can go in and change these strokes at any given point in time. If I change the 4-point stroke to a 2-point stroke, you can see the effect even more. And the nice part about these appearance attributes is that you can actually change their position in the stacking order. So I can actually change this so that the fill appears above the yellow stroke of this object. You'll see the inner yellow stroke disappear. If I move the fill up by dragging it in the appearance panel even more, you can see that this gives me a triple border and wipes out part of the adjoining strokes. Now the idea behind this is I want to save these appearance attributes as a graphic style and be able to use them over and over within the same document. So what I'm going to do is make sure that my shape is selected. Do that with a regular selection arrow. And I'll simply go to the Graphic Styles panel and click on the New button at the bottom of the Graphic Styles panel. You can see that that graphic style has been saved into the panel, and what that means is it's available for application to other objects. To prove my point, what I'm going to do is just hit delete and delete my original shape on which that graphic style was based. I'll go back over into my toolbox into my basic shape objects and create a rectangle this time. Before I do that, I'm going to hit D on my keyboard just to give me a default black stroke and a white fill. And as I drag out on the screen with the rectangle tool, it just creates a black and white rectangle. Again, to prove the point, I'm going to go over to the Graphic Styles panel and click on the new style that I created. You see that style is applied to the new object and can be applied to any successive objects that I build inside Illustrator. The last step may be to go in and name this style. So I double click on it in the Graphic Styles panel, and I can name it Try Border just by typing into the name field. So you can see that any new objects that I create can take advantage of this graphic style to create consistency and a look of coherence in your Illustrator document.